I'm Karenssa LeGear with That's My Entertainment, and today I'm speaking with Adrian Paul, well known for his over 100 episodes of Highlander, as well as many other films and TV series. And today we're talking about the sword experience. So tell me, Adrian, what is the sword experience?
Well, it's an experience. Let's start with that. Many years ago, people were asking me to do sword videos and to just tell them what's the difference between real fighting and movie fighting. And I said, well, there is a very big difference. And then now I've kind of looked at all the different TV shows that are out there, such as Game of Thrones and Into the Badlands and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I thought, actually, wouldn't it be cool to let people get a little taste of what that's like? And so I've created these experiences where I take people to a really cool spot. They started last year actually in convention centers, where just basically halls, but I've kind of developed it from that, where they are put into really cool locations, and then I'll teach them a little bit about what a sword fight on film, or I'll pick a sword fight from the film and put it in that location. We got one coming up in Chicago. We got one which is going to be in a loft type area, so I'm going to pick one of the loft fights out of Highlander probably. There's one in Temecula on April 10th, which is going to be a fight which was on a dock, so it's outdoors in a. So I'm going to be having people, but it's an exercise as well. The experience is a lot of things. It teaches technique, it teaches how to hold a sword, it teaches movement, it teaches exercise, because the first hour is warm up and how to get different positions, and then you get paired up with somebody else after you've learned all the movements. Then we put you together, and then you do the fight yourselves, and then adjust. And it's 4.5 hours of fun.
That sounds like a lot of fun, and it sounds like such a unique experience for so many of your longtime fans. Have there ever been interesting, memorable experiences being in such close quarters with your fans and actually teaching them something? That is so unique, teaching your fans a skill.
Yeah, it's been kind of fun. I mean, last year I did about 6 of these. This year we've got about 10 planned, and but totally different now because it's really structured this time. Last year, a lot of people say, "Oh, I thought I'd never get to cross swords with the Highlander." I'm like, well, now you get the chance. But but the thing is that some of them were martial artists, some of them were cosplayers now, some of them remember the TV show. Some people have never even seen the TV show, and that's why I've got the idea of actually taking even different fights from Star Wars or anywhere else and creating an experience around that idea, so that the people that have Star Wars, the love of Star Wars or Star Trek or anything of that nature, that had a weapon of that type involved in it, could actually participate and go through an experience that they were on the movie set fighting Darth Vader, for instance.
Yeah. And I always think the best teachers are the ones who have such a passion for what they do. Where did it start for you, this love of martial arts and swordplay?
I guess martial arts started because I had a temper when I was a kid. I think I played rugby, I played all different types of sports, and I needed something to sort of ground me. So I started taking martial arts when I came to the United States. And I studied Taekwondo, a little bit of boxing. And I picked up the katana, which was the sword I used in Highlander, about a year prior to actually getting the show, through a teacher by chance. And it just so happened when I got the show, I was using a katana. But I wasn't taught by a Korean or a Japanese. I was taught by one of the best sword fencing icons the movie cinema's ever seen, Bob Anderson, who's now passed away. He taught the English fencing team for about 30 years, fencing techniques. So his stuff was very all about the positioning of fencing. I then went on to Asian martial arts, and I had a teacher for many, many years after that who taught more Chinese style, so it was much more flowing, which I think was kind of more my style anyway, as well as being taught the katana and learning the katana from different teachers such as Beth Braun McCash or Rick Farashi, who's now passed away. He was the world ice-breaking champion at one point. So he had very linear style. So it's all very different style. But in reality, your body is your body. And I teach you you've only got to protect that much. You don't have to be out here. So all of them have a similar thing to them, but they're all different, and it really just depends on you what you take from it. So I took little pieces from everything, and that's kind of what I created.
Okay. So the sword experience will have a little bit of everything, all these different styles that you just mentioned. People should be there ready to work because they're going to be on their feet. This isn't just a lecture.
No, this is not a lecture. This is definitely not a lecture. People sweat. And it's a workout as well, because I will take people through the first hour of warming up, joints and arms, and understanding, how you should hold a weapon, and the stress you can have on shoulders or other parts of your body if you do this type of thing, as well as going through the positioning, which then becomes a workout. Because if you pick up a piece of wood like this and hold it like for 5 minutes, it doesn't matter. But if you pick it up for half an hour, your arms are going to start getting heavy. It's the same thing with the sword work. So it's a workout. You'll have a workout on all your muscles that you didn't really know you had.
And will you be providing the swords, or should everyone bring their swords from home?
I don't think everybody's got a sword. Oh yeah, I just have one in my back pocket. No, we provide bokens, which are wooden swords, wooden weapons. For these initial ones, we'll be dealing with the katana, with the boken, so that you'll learn that technique. As we go along, we'll initiate and grab other weapons that are single-handed, or like the claymore, which is a longer wooden type of weapon. We'll be incorporating those as well. Right now we're honing in on this particular style.
Okay. And it's a nice setting. It's going to be at a winery, this one coming up in Temecula on April 10th, is that right?
Yeah, that one's again different. They're all very different. Okay. This one's different because you get the entire day. This isn't just 4.5 hours. This is the entire day, because in the morning you get a little light breakfast. It's all included in the price. So you get a little light breakfast. You get 4.5 hours of sword experience fighting in this whole thing I've just mentioned. Then you get lunch. Then you get wine tasting, 6 different wines. Then you get discounts on all the wines there that we're going to be able to provide, as well as live music. There'll be a band playing as well at the end of the day. So it's a whole day's event. Yeah. So if you come down and you want to do the experience, you want to bring somebody down, there's a spectator ticket as well. Then we can give you sort of discounts on some of the other things at the same time. So that's that one. Whereas the one in Houston, which is end of May, is just solely 2.5 hours of an experience with other goodies that you get, like photos and books and etc. So the price is different, slightly less, because it's not as involved and you don't get as much. So they're all very different in that respect.
So all of this information is available at theswordexperience.com, correct? And another project close to your heart is also the Peace Fund. Is that correct? You want to tell us a bit about that?
Peace Fund started in 1997. I've had it for, 17 years now? 18 years? I don't know. Peace stands for Protect, Educate, Aid Children Everywhere. I have a radio show as well every week on Wednesdays, which deals with children's issues. We have celebrities coming on talking about why they support kids with cancer or kids with AIDS or homelessness or whatever the issue is. We highlight different things around the country and different organizations around the country that are fighting these types of battles on the ground, because there are a lot of them, they don't get the exposure, and if there's a crisis or something, you don't know where to turn. So right now we've done 3.5 years of shows, so we have an enormous amount of data there on our site. It's called Peace Fund Radio. So it's right now the Peace Fund's actually got a program with the LAUSD where we just delivered Surfaces, Microsoft Surfaces to schools in the LA area. We have a whole program where, see, for me, I don't think charity is not just giving something to somebody and saying, there you go, it's all yours. I think you have to work for it as well. So this program's under our Helping Hand program, where if you have, we'll raise money for different things. This particular program was get these computers into the schools, the Surfaces into the schools. So we said, all right, the schools have to provide us with a reason why they want this in their school. How would this further your education? So they had to work for it. And that now means that they're invested in it. And I have a strong belief in that. If you give somebody, you need $3,000 to do something, I'll raise you $2,500 of it, but you need to raise the other $500. So I see that you're invested in it, and so does everybody else. Because I think social services is an issue where you actually, it's wrong, because every time you give something to somebody, they at first don't want it, eventually they expect it, and then they don't have to go out and work for it. So that causes a whole problem in the economy. It drops the economy, and then we have people living on the streets that don't really care anymore. They've got no focus. And I think we need to reinstill that type of focus in people that have lost a lot of things.
Well, you certainly have many hats on. You have the sword experience, you've got the Peace Fund, you have this wealth of experience in your acting career, you've done some directing, producing. What's the next big thing? Is there something that you're just, I gotta conquer that next?
Yeah, well, I've got a film I'm supposed to be directing this year, as well as one I'm going to be acting in, and we're just in the process of the financing for that. I'm about to also do a new show, which I can't really talk about right now, but it's going to be based. It's more of a movement than anything else. It's going to be coming to all different media platforms, TV, internet, etc., etc. So it'll be put out on all those different platforms. So that's going to be probably launched in the next couple of weeks. But they've asked me not to say anything at the moment about that. But I've got these other things going on. Yeah.
So we'll be on the lookout.
Yeah, I'll be there. Yeah.
Is there anything else you wanted to add about the sword experience or upcoming projects?
No, I think I've babbled on enough, don't you?
Okay, so when I go to the sword experience, I should maybe not wear my heels. I should come ready to work.
Yeah, just ready,
gym clothes.
Comfortable outfit, comfortable stuff that you wear, because you'll be outside. At the moment in April, early morning April, it'll get warm by midday. So, we have our own t-shirts, and that we'll be wearing t-shirts and jeans, or t-shirts and sweatpants, and just comfortable shoes. That's it. You don't need to bring anything else.
I really just can't get over how unique of an experience it is to have, an actor, a hero to so many, teaching you the skill that everyone envies.
Nobody's done it, and I like things nobody's done before, and nobody's done this type of event before. So eventually, it's going to evolve into things we've got planned. But right now, we're starting in the cons. I mean, the one in Houston, we have in Houston. We're going to have one in Chicago. Houston is almost sold out now, and Chicago we just launched today, but we've had a lot of response from Chicago. So great, if I can have fun doing it, take people there, let them have a great day. It's part of my give back, but also I like doing it. So.
Well, as my last question, since you're probably a hero to so many, who are your heroes that you look to?
When I was a kid, I used to love the James Bond movies. Sean Connery was, somebody I'd look up to because, oh God, he's Sean Connery. The funny thing was Roger Moore, who was another Bond hero. I happen now to be godfather to his grandson. So go figure that one. I didn't think that would ever happen. But, as a kid, I also played soccer. So some of the soccer legends in England were heroes, as well as Pele, for instance, who was a huge soccer icon, which the America's going to be doing really well in the next World Cup, I think, because the way it's going in this country. But so those were the ones I think I could mention now.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for speaking with me today. I'm here with Adrian Paul. Be sure to check out Temecula, the Sword Experience. I'm Karenssa LeGear, and that's my entertainment. What's yours?
See ya.